here tonight. We got a good game
Hold on.
on December 19th, the last.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you into Kingsley High School as we're about to get ready for the last regular season game here of 2025 here on Next Level Broadcasting's coverage of boys varsity high school basketball. We got a good one tonight between the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators and the Kingsley Stags, a rivalry matchup, if you will, here. Only 18 miles separating these two schools, these two opponents, these two bitter rivals, and we're looking forward to seeing a great game here on the hardwood tonight. Charles Strail along with Shane Smith bringing you this one live from Kingsley. We're here courtside, so you can be couchside or maybe beachside. Even better.
Depends
How
on
about
if
that,
you're
Shane?
Charles Strail going to Mexico or not, huh?
Well, you know, sometimes you just got to get away. You got to put those toes in the sand because apparently it's a good thing to do for your body. Get some vitamin C.
Probably better to put your toes in the sand than the cold snow around here. I bet the sand felt a little better, huh?
Although, you know, cold therapy, it's becoming a thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
And we'll see if the Gladiators and the Stags have some therapy here on the floor tonight. Kingsley and they got to find some, or they got to find a rhythm. We'll get into that in a little bit here during the Carter and Associates pregame show presented by Scott Carter and Associates Farm Bureau. And Shane, the Gladiators come in only with 2 losses this year. One of them to Cadillac, and then the other one to Kingsford, 2 Class B size schools. Kingsley, a different story. 0-4 so far in the young season. They're looking for their first win tonight. No doubt that the student section will be hopping tonight. This place will have some serious energy and juice. Do you think Kingsley might have an opportunity to pull the upset card tonight?
Well, it'll be a tough mountain for them to climb. St. Francis is right back in their old form again, a very strong basketball program here under Coach Sean Finnegan. And those 2 losses were not by extremely large margins, especially against Kingsford that we saw here about a week and a half ago. But they're punching above their weight class playing those schools. Kingsley, you said it best, a young season, and they have a younger than most season as their team went all the way to the state finals, which we will have that in our pregame coverage here as well to talk about.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the time to practice and put together the team reps that most of these other teams like St. Francis did. So it'll be a mountain for them to climb. But, again, this is a strong rivalry, and we see this all the time in sports. Anything can happen in rivalry, especially one this close, one this heated, and renewed quite strongly over this football season.
So, Shane, this will be the 3rd time you've seen the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators so far in this young season. You saw them against Kingsford, and then you also saw them against Ovid Elsie. They really play with a lot of pace and space because they don't have a traditional post player or big man. But players like Mason Holscher, Lewis Ryan, they can really spark this offense if they can get turnovers and then get easy run-out three-pointers. You saw that in the Kingsford game. Do you think that the Gladiators might have a repeat performance, and if they might have learned anything from that Kingsford game where they let a nice first-half lead slip away?
Well, I mean, yes, they certainly would have learned something, as any team would, having a lead against a top Class B team like Kingsford. I mean, they made it well into the postseason last year. So St. Francis definitely going to learn something from that. But one thing I've really seen this team work on a lot compared to last year is their passing, shot-making opportunities. They're a little bit older of a squad this time around. Last year it was a much younger team, sophomores and juniors, mostly juniors and seniors now. So they have that experience under their belt. They've got the wherewithal to wait for the right opportunities to make those passes, make those better timed shots, try to get those proper timed steals in there, work in the passing lanes of their opponents. I think that this will be a much improved matchup that we've seen as the season has gone on compared to how they were last year.
Certainly, and, you know, if you're going to get a win, how about getting a win maybe the last night of 2025 for the basketball season, the last game before 2026 for the Kingsley Stags basketball team. So if they want to get one, they'll have the student section dressed up here. It's Christmas themed, and as it should be. We're going to go ahead and step aside and take a look at tonight's Keys to the Game presented by Scott Carter of Carter and Associates Farm Bureau here. You're watching the Carter and Associates pregame show here on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Hey everybody, I'm back. So excited for another season of... Wait a minute. I think I'm off a little bit. Basketball. That's right. It's time. I know the season's already started. There's been some games, but we're finally back into it. I'm excited to be part of the broadcast. And here are some of Coach Carter's keys for success. Coach Carter's Keys to Success is brought to you by the Carter & Associates Agency of Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan. So the last time we were down in Kingsley is at Rhodes Field. We all know how that ended for St. Francis. Different sport, different time, looking for victory today. Number one thing is the basics. Tend to the basics. Missed shots, easy layups, all those sort of things. They plagued SF in their last game. So if they can just get rid of those errors, that would help immensely. Number two, rebounding. This is an area where St. Francis can continue to grow and help their game. They've been struggling a little bit to find the body, and box it out, and get that rebound. Any game where you can lead in rebounds is a game you have a better chance to win. And number three, penetrate the zone. Kingsley likes to play zone, which will mean that St. Francis will be on the perimeter. It's very easy to fall into the habit of just passing around, rotating the ball around the arc, and then having to throw up a three-pointer every time. They'll be well served to lots of cuts and driving in, penetrating that zone, and then when the double team breaks down to help on the help defense, dishing the ball to the open guy at the hoop. These are some simple things I had a little bit of help on, and I'm very much excited to get back into St. Francis Gladiator sports. So here we go, boys. A tough game. You'll know some of these players from football. They're going to be ready for you. So play hard, play strong, and go get them. Brought to you by Carter & Associates Agency, Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan. I was going to do it for 5 years, then get back to singing. 25 years later, I'm still here. Farm Bureau not only allows me to be part of this community, they encourage it. From teaching the choir, working the musicals, and now getting a chance to be part of this broadcast, I'm proud to support Traverse City St. Francis football. Go Glads!
Like when we see him in the...
Okay, that's...
All right, here we are. Welcome back in. That was a great piece by our friend at Scott Carter at Carter & Associates Farm Bureau. He really has a flair to be, entertaining.
Yeah, I was just
right,
going to say,
Shane?
not only informational, but entertaining as well. I know we got a good chuckle out of that transition, Scott, if you're watching. So
Hope you did as well. And if there's anything that our friend Scott can help you insure, whether it's your home, pet, life, car, give him a call at Carter & Associates. He will be happy to talk with you, and especially if you mention his bit here in the pregame show, he would love to chat it up with you. Maybe you can even be part of his next Keys to the Game.
there you go.
Well, Shane, we got an interesting one tonight between the two coaches. It's head coach Jason Stewart and Sean Finnegan for the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators. Finnegan is a coach who has made it to a state championship game appearance in 2022.
Okay.
And outside of that, he's looking to get this St. Francis program back to the peak that they were at just a couple of years ago when they made that run. And I do want to correct myself, that was 2023 when they lost to Flint Beecher in the state championship game. However, the Gladiators, with a lot of youth on their team, and they only have three seniors on their roster, and Lewis Rain, Will Sutton, and George Herringa. Outside of that, there's a lot of youth, a lot of culmination of young players on this Gladiator roster that Coach Sean Finnegan, to go along with his assistants, Coach Chuck Schuba and Merrick Lockie, are trying to cultivate this young core nucleus of players to get them to where they know that they can get two because of their recent results.
Well, the good thing is that most of them are all juniors. You got 3 seniors. That's one end of the spectrum. Only 2 freshmen. That's the other end. Everyone else is a junior on this team, and they pretty much all played last year as sophomores, so they have a year of experience under their belts all together as a unit, and have been able to meld together. So it'll be interesting to see as time goes on how this team continues to grow, and this game here tonight will be a great example of that. St. Francis is likely expecting to come out with the win tonight, but it's a strong rivalry game, a strong rivalry over decades. And so that's the type of game that you would want to tune up on as a team that is a little on the younger side. Again, mostly juniors here as they work to continue and build on their experience throughout the season. But with that, while Charles is run off to take care of a camera, we are going to send it down to the PA announcer here for the national anthem and the starting lineups on the other side of this. Zach, good buddy, take it away.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kingsley High School for tonight's Varsity Boys non-conference matchup featuring the visiting.
Alrighty, coming back into this one, ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome in to our Carter and Associates pregame show. If you missed that introduction and his keys to the game that he presented to us, Charles, make sure that you go back and watch that. But in the meantime, we're going to get into our starting lineups here. For St. Francis, we're going to have number 2, Jake Vixby. Followed behind him, number 3, Reeve Wickern. Coming up next, number 10, Will Sutton. Followed behind, number 12, Mason Holscher. And last but not least, number 13, George Haringa.
Shane, I think the interesting matchup to watch tonight will be the backcourt play and which one of these two teams will impact how each other's guards feel and how they feel comfortable. I think for Kingsley, the biggest question, does Andrew George feel any pressure from Holscher or Ryan? And can the Kingsley guards, Tyler Dons as well, can they handle this pressure that the Gladiators are about to impart on them?
Yeah. We'll have to see how that goes. We got number 2, Andrew George, number 3, Tyler Dons, number 5, Tucker Dreves, and last but not least, number 14, Brody Wolf, to round out your starting 5 for the Kingsley Stags.
See, a lot of familiar names on this roster for the Kingsley Stags. A lot of players that probably didn't get a lot of reps practicing this fall because of their success on the gridiron. I want to give a shout out to some of those players like Tucker Dreves, Alex Figueroa, and Colton Goethals, who hopefully we'll see tonight as well. A lot of physicality anticipated in this game. It should be a fun one, Shane, as both teams shake hands, and we're about ready to tip it off so we can finally start talking some basketball.
Yes, indeed. And away we go. The tip-off won by St. Francis, courtesy of George Haringa. And away we go to begin this one. Jake Bixby with it now. Working his way around the arc, staring down Tyler Dodds. He'll pass that one off to Mason Holscher.
Yeah, Kingsley starting out in a 2-3 zone defense. Let's see if St. Francis can recognize it and then attack it.
Pass on the baseline, broken up. It will stay on this end of the court. Tucker Dreves, a guilty party there, trying to middle around in things for the Gladiators. So it'll be Reeve Wickern taking care of the inbound duty.
Yeah, good job by Dreves just getting into the passing lane and forcing that one to go out of bounds.
We'll kick this one all the way out to Holscher here beyond the Kingsley K. As Wickern tries to work his way into the paint, dumps it off the elbow over to Holscher. He'll put up a 3 ball. That will fall away right into the hands of Sutton. Able to gather that one up. Over to Jake Bixby, not able to get that one to fall. Sutton there on the rebound once again and draws the foul.
Nice job in there by Sutton. Just attacking with relentless abandon on the offensive glass. That foul goes on Andrew George. Gladiators did a little screen. The high man of the zone there got a good shot for Holscher, and then after that, Sutton just did his thing on the offensive glass.
First point of the game from the charity stripe here to begin for Sutton. St. Francis comes away here with 2 points, with multiple opportunities to score down at this end of the court. Kingsley has not yet gotten down to theirs. As Dreves works over to find Preston Lucky. Lucky finds some trouble, gets this one off to Dreves. He saves it just before going out of bounds. Trying to go up hard here. We'll have a jump ball scenario. It will favor this end of the court. Stay with the Stags as Brody Wolf put in plenty of fight there under the basket.
Oh, nice little pass, a pocket pass by Tucker Dreves to find Wolf down there. Gladiator defense was just a little bit ready and anticipated that one.
Andrew George here with it, works it off to Dotz. Staring down Bixby. So far, good perimeter defense by St. Francis. Dreves gathers it up again just before going out of bounds, and that will be knocked away by Sutton, staying on this end of the floor.
That's a smart and heady play by Tucker Dreves just to throw that one off of the shin of Sutton to retain possession as Dreves was in a spot he was looking to get out of.
Dreen saves that one sky high to Wolf. Mid-range J, no good. Back into the hands of St. Francis. Both teams have had possessions of 45 seconds or longer on each respective end of the court. And Mr. Wickern works his way all the way down, gets the layup. St. Francis, quick 4-0 start here. And there you go. Tucker Dreves answers right back for Kingsley.
Yeah, just a nice baseline jump shot. Dreves took his time, knocked it down. Kingsley extending that pressure up top. 3-on-2 for the Gladiators.
Going up against the trees there. Heeringa just wasn't quite able to make the connection to the basket. We've got a foul coming up. That'll be against St. Francis. Mr. Sutton there picking up his first foul, team's first of the game. 2 minutes gone by.
It's actually a technical foul there, Shane.
Ah.
That's still his first personal foul, so you're still correct, but just wanted to make the designation that it is a technical foul.
Yeah. It's a good thing you saw the tee there.
Dreves at the line, making the first of 2.
I'd like to know exactly what Sutton did to draw the technical.
He probably said a magic word.
Ah, that'll do it. Starts with F and ends with un, right? Fun?
I mean, it could. Don't want to speculate. You know, it's kind of like injuries. You don't want to speculate. Fouls, they go down for Dreves. He's got all 4 points, and we're tied up again, Shane.
Yeah. That'll take care of it. Dreves taking care of the Stags so far, getting them knotted up with 5:47 to go in the first quarter. Nice pass inside and bounces around and in for Tyler Dotz.
So because of the technical foul, it's a 4-point swing, and the Stags have scored 6 straight, Shane.
Mm-hmm. Good find up and over, not able to make the connection there was Bauman for St. Francis. Spinning around, Andrew George finds teammate Wolf along the baseline, gets it back up top, going for the jumper from the free throw line, no good there, Dons.
Bauman just a freshman, Shane. He's really got a lot of promise.
He's got a lot of promise, and he'll be drawing the foul there. Kingsley tried to knock it away from him.
I saw
And
Mikey
that'll be
Bauman play in an 8th grade game last year, Shane. And, well, let me tell you what. If you can come out here and play as a freshman on varsity, imagine what he did as an 8th grader playing against 8th graders.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you did that 8th grade game last year as a specialty, and I'm sure he's a lot of fun to watch. And so far, he's put out a good couple of minutes coming off the bench. Drew good contact there, and the foul from Andrew George on the Stags.
Second on George, by the way.
In the corner, Bixby working the baseline here, tries to go up with it. Nice reverse, and it's in. 6-all.
That was a beautiful move by Jake Bixby. Took his time, was under control the whole way, knew what he wanted to do, and just used the other side of the basket to shield him from the defender trying to block the shot. Nicely done.
Neck and neck here to begin. Kingsley playing tough, holding on. There you go, Brody Wolf.
Man, that's
tying
just
things back up again.
beautiful execution of the pick and roll there at the elbow. Once Rolf set the screen, just kind of turned, rolled. Great pass, great execution.
Spinning around, going for the 10-footer. Not able to fall in. Mr. Wickern back the other way. Kingsley one-on-one, and it falls in. Nice job there by Preston Lucky, getting his first points of the night and putting Kingsley up by 4, 10-6.
Yeah, and since that 4-0 start, Kingsley outscored the Gladiators 10-2.
Going up there is a nice job to get St. Francis back into things. George Hiringa.
I like the pace of this game so far for both teams. It's very entertaining to watch, and I think both teams are comfortable out there on the floor right now.
Yeah, it's very measured. Nothing's too fast, nothing's slow, and we're dawdling around. Everything has good thought behind it. Well-executed passes, good looks at the basket, each shot that's made. Very well-rounded game to begin. Long two falls away there right into the hands, and the putback no good by Dots. Coming away with it, George Hiringa now for St. Francis. Pass up court to Bixby. He'll work his way through traffic, put it up, no good. Might have been tipped, gathers it back, and we'll send it back up top once again.
A lot of active hands for Kingsley on defense, getting another poke away there. And that's what you want to see if you're Kingsley. Definitely the underdog coming in. They're not playing like an 0-4 team here tonight, Shane.
No, they aren't. Long-range bomb, no good there by Lucky, back the other way. That's what I've seen the last 2 nights. Underdog teams playing very strongly against their higher-ranked opponents. Last night was Kalkaska taking on Elk Rapids. That game went all the way down to the wire, and this game so far starting out with a strong promise as Kingsley picks up their 3rd foul. That one will go against Brody Wolf, his 1st.
Nice drive by Jake Bixby. You know, he made that baseline drive there, and then he made this drive on this recent play where he kind of sidestepped and got around and drew some contact. And if you're a player like Bixby, getting to the free throw line after making a layup can almost make your shooting senses even more acutely dialed in. So look out for him now to maybe knock down a couple jump shots after seeing a layup and now 1 or 2 free throws fall for him, Shane.
So far, St. Francis perfect from the free throw line, keeping them right in this game. Bixby will continue that and ties it up here at the charity stripe, 10 apiece. 2:50 to go, 20 points combined already in the ball game. We've got a quick timeout taken by Kingsley and Coach Jason Stewart.
Well, want to tell everybody that after the 2nd quarter here tonight, we've got a special presentation, a tribute video or an ode to the success that the Kingsley football team had this year. Next Level Broadcasting, we had an opportunity to send a couple of staff members down and do some blogging or vlogging of the Kingsley State Championship game versus Jackson Lumen Christi, and we'll have a special never-before-seen video testimonial of what that day was like for some of the Kingsley players, the fans, and we'll be previewing that and then premiering it on or after the second quarter here tonight. So that should be fun to watch, Shane.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's great to be able to. Kingsley isn't in our fold, per se, of schools that we normally cover, but they do play Charlevoix, Elk Rapids, and St. Francis all the time in every sport. So we've seen them multiple times every year. And when we get the chance to be able to support another school in Northern Michigan, especially with the success that Kingsley has had in recent years with their football program, it's always a wonderful thing to be able to do.
Also, I'd feel terrible if we didn't mention the fact that their girls varsity volleyball
That's true,
won the
yes.
state championship this year. So unfortunately, we didn't have a camera crew down at that state championship game, but congratulations and kudos to the Kingsley girls state championship winning volleyball team this year.
And that's why the rivalry here between these two schools, Kingsley and St. Francis, is so fun to watch, because both schools are just brewed in excellence here. As the shot goes up and away there, not able to fall in. Got a lot of contact, no foul there. I think it's just incidental. But both schools here, lots of state championship talent over the years. We see the banner over there, 2000, I believe it's 2005 and 2023, the state championships for Kingsley in football. And of course, the girls just got their state championship. So lots of great talent here in this corner of Northern Michigan for sure. Just under 2 minutes to go now in the first quarter. That one will get past Lance Voss.
Well, one thing that's pretty impactful, if you look up in the rafters here at Kingsley,
Yeah.
there are some sports that you only get a banner if you're either a state champion or a state runner-up. I know that's the same at Traverse City St. Francis in their gymnasium as well, and I think that's why these two schools relish the competition between each other.
And you have, I mean, I see cross country, football, volleyball, girls track and field. I mean, so many different sports here. As a beautiful shot falls in by Alex Figueroa. Oh, I apologize. Lewis Ryan, my bad. 13-10, St. Francis takes the lead there. Somehow able to save that one from going out of bounds, working all the way in. Bauman draws a lot of contact. That'll be knocked away by the Stags, and so St. Francis will take it here at this end of the court, still up by 3.
Nice job by Tucker Draves of understanding the defensive principles there to go straight up, stay vertical, and still get the deflection on the Bauman attempt. So Kingsley defense here, Shane, I've been impressed with so far.
Mm-hmm. No team has had a lead greater than 3 points, and that's 4 points rather. That was at the very beginning with Kingsley.
So far, Kingsley also getting out to shooters. They're playing this zone defense, getting turnovers as well. But St. Francis still yet to make a 3-point basket. Foul on Cooper Sellers, just checking in off the bench.
3-2 foul count. Kingsley in the lead there. Lucky tries to get that one off to Sherman. Backed up into the corner. Bad spot to be if you're Kingsley, and he'll throw that off a St. Francis Gladiator. And we'll keep it at this end of the court. Now the inbound duties, Eric Stark. Haven't called his name yet tonight. Another gentleman comes off the bench and provides quality minutes here for the Stags. Both teams have deep benches here that really provide quality minutes when their starters need a rest. Stark gets that one off to Sherman, bounces one off the window, and it's in. Back to a 1-point differential, 13-12 in favor of St. Francis, 39 seconds to go in the first quarter.
First bucket of the game for Braden Sherman off the bench and into the scorer's book.
Working his way in, number 24, big man J.D. Carlson, sends that back up top.
Carlson, the center on the football team, so he's getting some minutes here, putting it on the deck. Every big guy likes to showcase their handles every now and then.
Yeah. 11 seconds to go in the quarter. Up and away the 3 ball, no good from Sellers. And we got a scrum here on the floor. Bodies everywhere. Unfortunately, it looks like.
And Will Sutton took a shot.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a replay of that one.
We'll pan the camera off of him as he tries to gather himself back. There he goes. Sutton's able to come off under his own power. He's holding his shoulder there as he landed down on it pretty hard. He came from well up in the air. Took a big hit, just like Charles said. So we'll hope for the best for him, get some ice on that, and hopefully we'll see him back later on in the game. In the meantime, the final 3 seconds, shot up and away. That one falls short by Bixby. And that'll be into the first quarter here, ladies and gentlemen, in Kingsley. St. Francis up on top over Kingsley by 1, 13-12. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break, and we'll be back on the other side of this. Stay tuned. Update provided by Charles Strail. Tucker Dreves leads the scoring for Kingsley with 4 points. Sherman, Dotz, Lucky, and Wolf all have chipped in with 2 points a pair or each. Jake Bixby with 4 points leading the St. Francis scoring charge with Wickern, Ryan, Sutton, and Heringa all chipping in 2 apiece as well. 13-12 was the score after 1 quarter here. St. Francis will have the ball to begin.
Fun quarter so far, Shane.
Yeah.
Fun 8 minutes in the books.
Has been indeed. Nice evenly matched game so far. Yeah, nothing greater than a 4-point lead, and that was at the very beginning of this game. And speaking of 4, that's Ryan twirling around, finds the top of the arc. Here we go with Mason Holscher not able to get that one to fall in.
That's big for the Stags. If they can go one and done playing zone defense and secure the defensive rebound, that's sometimes the weakness of playing zone defense, rebounding, and a nice aggressive rebound by Tucker Dreves.
Lucky shoves that one over to Stark, back up top and around we go. Lucky will have it once again. For a long 2, his foot was on the line. Braden Sherman pounds that one in, 14-13.
Sherman with 4 points coming off the bench here, Shane. Certainly giving them a sparking, also giving them the lead back.
Yeah, something that Kingsley needed. They were looking a little bit dogged in the last couple minutes of that quarter. Lots of energy here, but St. Francis, after getting the turnover against them, gets it right back. Ryan powers it all the way in. Got knocked around. The shot will be short. And in the hands of the Stags we go.
That should be a travel.
Yeah. He should have took that shot there. Figueroa was wide open. Instead, tried to gather it up and take it back. Took an extra step too many.
I like how he's got a big smile on his face, too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody makes their mistakes, and that was a little one that he knows he probably won't do again next time. Sorry, Coach. Back at it. Long 3, and there you go. St. Francis needed that one. Brought to you by Holscher.
That's the first made 3-point basket of the game for Traverse City St. Francis. If they want to force Kingsley to come out of that 2-3 zone, they will need to either make some shots or get some offensive rebounds, enough to make head coach Jason Stewart of Kingsley reconsider his game plan. Oh, pick
Opposing
and pop.
3 shot here. That one will be just a little bit long off the heel. No good by Dreves. The putback also falls away. St. Francis.
Yeah, that'll be a foul on,
up,
on Figueroa. Good energy attacking the offensive glass, but just a little bit too charged up there going after that offensive rebound. And that'll be the first foul against Figueroa. You see now, Shane, Kingsley setting up this 2-2-1 full court pressure look. It's a zone pressure.
Bixby flings that one over to Heringa, now inside of the paint, going back up top. Wickern losing control of it there. Kingsley going to make him pay for it. Dreves works it all away, and on the bounce pass back from George, got intercepted by St. Francis. Dotz works it in, gets the bucket, and St. Francis ties the biggest lead of the game by 4 as they go up on top 18-14. Kingsley briefly got that 1-point lead back. It's been a quick 5-0 spurt by St. Francis since.
Yeah, nice job by Reef Wickern just to attack the transition opportunity, go right into the body of the defender, and finish strongly at the rim.
just in time before that 5-second count went off. Figueroa with it. Nice behind the back pass there to George.
Kingsley needs to make a shot here, if you ask my opinion, Shane. St. Francis has scored 5 straight points, and Kingsley just seems like a little out of sorts right now offensively. That should be an offensive foul.
Yes, it will be. That one will go against Figueroa. That'll be his second foul as well. Still with just over 5 minutes to go in the first half. He'll have to watch himself. You don't want to pick up that third foul before halftime. A very key part to this Kingsley Stag squad down here on the floor. Bixby tries to work it into the paint, gets halted at the free throw line, finds Holscher. And those Gladiators here will take a moment to set things up. Wickern couldn't find Bixby through all the traffic, so it'll be a 3-ball instead. No good by Holscher. Right into the hands of Wolf, and the Stags we go once again.
Oh, nice pass.
And that'll be another travel. Just a little scoot of the heel there by Sherman. That was all the ref needed.
Yeah, I thought the pass was a beautiful pass.
Yeah.
Sherman caught it with the left hand. If he's able to get that second dribble down, Shane, and then come to a jump stop, I think he's got an easy turnaround right-handed hook shot over his left shoulder. Unfortunately for Sherman and the Stags, it's called a travel, and now they find themselves down by 4 points. The Gladiators have, I don't want to say change things up too much here, but when they make your three-point shots, Holscher knocked that one down, and then they get out in transition. I think the big story of the game so far, that Kingsley's able to turn the Gladiators over, if not as much or equal to how often the Gladiators are able to turn Kingsley over. And a lot of these points are coming off of turnovers right now in this game, just due to the sheer number of turnovers. And I didn't really anticipate that coming into tonight's game. With the Kingsley defense, they're playing a zone and they're playing a 2-2-1 full court zone pressure, be able to cause bad decisions by the Gladiators, and they have so far. And I've just been impressed so far with Kingsley's ability to get those turnovers, really.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can add to that, I agree the turnover measure has been pretty equal. The biggest thing for St. Francis is they've had more time to gather themselves and kind of set themselves before making their shot. They've haven't been pressured by Kingsley quite so much as Kingsley has by St. Francis. And St. Francis has also had more opportunities at the free throw line, and have been perfect from there so far this evening. And that's really also helped to get them in the lead as well. I believe they've had 4 or 5 made free throws at the moment, and that's enough to put them up at the 4-point lead that they have currently. St. Francis here trying to get things going once again after the timeout. Bowman over to Bixby. He'll work his way to the elbow, shoots that one around. It'll be another 3-point try from the top of the arc, this time by Holscher once again. Not able to get that one to fall. Right there on the rebound was Wickern.
Nice
Powers
cut.
that one through the trees, and there you go. A nice find to Bauman, and he puts it up for 2.
Yeah, beautiful cut by Bauman. And that should be a foul called against Bixby, but that was just a great slot cut is what they call that, right in between the elbow and the three-point line extended horizontally from the elbow. They call it the slot. And Bauman hit that, and then credit Wickern for finding him.
So Sherman here with 2 chances here to get the Stags back within 4 as that one bounces away. And a bit of a shift change here for St. Francis. Sellers and Sutton coming back in after that earlier shoulder injury. Thankfully, he seems to be all right.
Lance Voss also just picking up his second personal foul, Shane. And who got that free throw for Kingsley?
That was Sherman.
Okay.
1 for 2 at the line there. Brings Kingsley briefly within 5, but there you go. Lewis Ryan easily puts in 2 more unhindered. So the Gladiators starting to widen the lead out here a little bit, going up by 7, forcing yet another turnover. It'll be a 1-on-1 break. Nice patience there by Holscher. He'll be rewarded with the foul and the chance at the stripe once again.
Preston Lucky there got forced up into the air by the shot fake by Mason Holscher, and that's a helpless feeling as a defender when you're up in the air and there's a guy waiting just to create a little contact so he can get 2 free throws. But that one's not free as Holscher pays the price with the first free throw miss.
Kingsley working their way into a bit of foul trouble. They've had at least 6 throughout the game so far, as they're up to 3 already here with 3:22 to go in the second quarter. As Holscher goes 1 for 2 there from the line, goes up by 8 now for the team, 23-15. And yet another turnover by Kingsley. This will be a hurtful score here.
Got away with travel there.
Sutton pulls up from just outside the elbow, no good. Somehow that stayed in bounds. Kingsley's going to come away with it. George
Nice
working his way. Nice pass indeed. Not able to get that one to fall in was Dreves. And refs will say Kingsley will hang on to it.
Yeah, I thought Andrew George did a good job of setting up Tucker Dreves on that 2-on-1 break. Just a tough angle for Dreves going off the backboard. Wasn't quite flat enough to shoot it right at the rim and not vertical enough to just go off the glass.
Coming back into this game is Dance for George. Spinning around Dreves with a nice shot. And the first make for Kingsley in at least 3 game minutes. Brings us back to a 6-point differential, 23-17.
6 points in the game now for Dreves. He's kind of the blood, the heartbeat of this Kingsley team.
Ryan thought about it. He'll work the baseline instead. Loses it on the baseline. And Kingsley with a bit of a break here. 2:22 to go in the half. Would like to try to get this back within a score. Again, only a couple of made threes across both teams over the course of the entire game so far. It's just what Kingsley would need right now to try and get themselves back into this one. And a steal there once again along the baseline. Kingsley gets it right back, and a nice look in there by Preston Lucky.
Yeah, he had a little English, a little jelly on that finger roll, Shane.
Yes, indeed. Nice soft touch there, brings the Stags back within 4, and a turnover by St. Francis. Crowd getting back into this one. It's been a quick 4 straight spurt here by Kingsley, and a couple of turnovers gone to their favor.
Yeah, back-to-back turnovers forced by Kingsley. And that'll help get you back in a game.
Yeah.
Just as quickly as a turnover help get you out of a game. Or a couple of turnovers, that is.
Lucky with Holscher all over him. Finds Dreves. He'll work this one in, lets it go, and that'll be out of bounds. Figueroa just lost control there.
Yeah, Tucker Dreves made a nice backdoor cut. Gladiator pressure, and he read it. Went backdoor, set up Figueroa with a pocket pass, and it was just a little too hot to handle. A little too much mustard on that one, Shane.
Yeah, too much mustard indeed.
Well, while we have an opportunity to do so, we want to give a shout out to our second quarter sponsor here tonight. That's a Pizza.
Ooh,
That's a Pizza sponsoring the That's a Great Play here tonight. And we'll be doing that in the second half where we'll see a great play and we'll let you know that That's a Great Play brought to you by That's a Pizza with three different locations across Traverse City, Acme, and Shane, you had an opportunity to try some of their pizza, including their gluten-free pizza. And what can you tell the people?
Well, I got to tell you, not only is the pizza phenomenal, I truly, genuinely think it's one of the best pizzas you can get around here, especially that deluxe that owner Troy Hall and his employees do a wonderful job of making. But speaking of Hall, he's just a phenomenal human being, a pillar of this community, not only for Traverse City and Acme, but for St. Francis as well. And runs a great operation, a kind man. Happy to have him be one of our sponsors. And he'll see us around on the basketball court from time to time this season. So make sure you go to his store, his locations there, 3 in the Traverse City area. Let him know that you heard him from us, and he'll be happy as a nice 3-pointer goes in from Holscher, and that gets the St. Francis crowd happy as well.
Second made 3-pointer by Holscher. St. Francis executing well there out of that timeout. And a turnover to boot as well.
Just when Kingsley felt like they had a little momentum building in their favor, that timeout was called. They had a 4-0 spurt. St. Francis comes out of the timeout, grabs that 3-point shot, now forces the turnover to potentially put this up by 3 scores here with 50 seconds to go in the half. Kingsley could really use a block stop here, rather.
If I'm St. Francis, I'm finding Holscher right now. He's got 2 made threes.
Yeah.
The proverbial hot hand. They'll have the possession arrow if it's tied up, but the Kingsley Stags and the Gladiators, whew.
My goodness, what a mess down there as Ryan fights for it, and there's going to be a trip up coming against Kingsley.
That'll go on Tucker Dreves, and that's his second.
George coming back in for Dreves.
Yeah, you don't want to let Dreves pick up that third foul with under 30 seconds left to go in the first half, so they'll let him sit on the bench. He's kind of not only their heartbeat on offense, but their communicator on defense.
A lot of contact there, but Bixby fights through it, puts 2 more on the board, and it is a 3-score game, 28-19, 9-point difference, 15 seconds to go. That'll be a timeout called here by Coach Stewart and the Stags.
Well, the Gladiator offense starting to fly high a little bit, Shane. I mean, it's been an ebb and flow game, and a lot of that's because of the bulk of where the turnovers are coming. St. Francis will have 2 or 3 in a row. Kingsley will hit a couple shots, get a nice basket, and then
a couple of steals their way.
And then the Gladiators will force 2 or 3 turnovers in a row and then have a 3, 4, 5-point run. And that's just been the story of this second quarter. I mean, it was only a 1-possession game at the end of the first quarter. And this second quarter, it's felt like each team has been inconsistent for longer periods of time. And each team has shared in that inconsistency.
For every 2 steps forward Kingsley has taken, St. Francis has taken 3 or 4.
Yeah.
They've just been able to kind of pile on each advance that Kingsley makes, and has turned this from a 1-point lead at the end of the first quarter to a 9-point now with 7 seconds to go in the half. A big 3 would be really helpful here for the Stag cause. It'll be number 3 throwing up the shot. No good. That was Tyler Dantz.
So this is one of the strangest opportunities you can feel in high school basketball. So Dantz was fouled with no time remaining. So he's got to go to the free throw line and shoot 2 free throws without any players around him. And everybody's watching him, too. And you probably can hear me right now.
I know that would mess with my psyche if I was down there, but he sinks that in beautifully.
It is a very strange phenomenon. And let's see if we can make 2.
Indeed he does. Clean swishes on both of them. That'll take care of the half. Dantz is able to bring the Stags back within 7. As we go into the halftime break, we'll step aside here for just a few moments to our TVC Cherry Capital Airport halftime show, Charles.
Well, before we go out, we do have the special premiere presentation of our experience down at the down at the 2025 Division 6 State Championship game. So everybody tuning in, take a look. Hope you enjoy it. We certainly did. And from our home to your home, take a look. TVC Airport halftime show. Charles Strail along with Shane Smith and Zach Kennedy, our executive producer tonight. 28-21 is the score. It's a 3-possession lead at halftime for the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators. They've got a lot of scoring, and it's been well distributed across their players. So far, the Gladiators with 7 players that have scored, and leading the way for them is Mason Holscher with 7. He's got 2 made 3-pointers and a made free throw to get him to that 7-point mark. For Kingsley, it's Tucker Dreves with 6 points, and then Braden Sherman, who came off the bench, he chipped in 5. Tyler Dantz with 4, Preston Lucky with 4, and Brady Wolf with 2. Shane Smith, you and I alluded to it a little bit just before halftime. It seemed like each team has been inconsistent, and each team has been inconsistent in accordance with the other team. So,
Right.
So one team will have 3 turnovers. The other team will take advantage of those 3 consecutive turnovers, score 4, 5, 6 points, and then after scoring those 6 points, will subsequently turn the ball back over 2 to 3 times. It's kind of like a robbing Peter to pay Paul situation here.
Yeah, and St. Francis has had more luck converting on those turnovers. Again, and a lot of that has helped from the free throw line as well. Kingsley hadn't had many chances at the free throw line until, I believe that was Donce there. Took care of those last 2 right at the halftime break. But St. Francis have been able to make hay while the sun shines there at the charity stripe with no contest on the shots there. I believe they've gone 5 for 6 throughout the first half, which has really kind of helped expand upon this lead. But again, as I kind of talked about earlier, they've just felt more comfortable and confident on the offensive side of the floor, getting those passes around, having time to actually set up some of those shots, especially on the Holscher three-point tries, not facing a ton of pressure from Kingsley on a fair amount of those shots, and it's just allowed to a higher shooting percentage so far.
Well, while we have an opportunity to do so, we want to check in on the YouTube chat, and looks like it's Nick Wenzel who's tuning in. And Shane, he says he thinks the Gladiators are going to win the game. And Nick also told me, Nick, you are correct. I apologize. I stole your phrase, Nick. Too much mustard on the pass. That's yours, and the trademark is pending. So I'll have to give you your share of the rights that you are owed for that.
You'll have to use relish now, Charles.
I'll talk to Nick about that one. He might have a trademark on relish as well.
You never know.
But once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport. This is the TVC Cherry Capital halftime show. And if you're looking at getting to the sun and the sand, well, the TVC Airport has got you covered. And let me tell you what, with 20 nonstop flights, you can get with 2 flights connecting, TVC to Charlotte, Charlotte to Aruba, the Bahamas. I mean, what are you waiting for?
Right.
I mean, you need to look out your window and see the snow, the snert. And for those tuning in, snert is a combination of snow, dirt, and slush, which you should just have that word in your vocabulary. There's snert out there. And if you're like me and you want to get out of the snert, get onto the sand somewhere warm, the TVC Airport is here to help you with 8 airlines, over 20 nonstop flights, and now's the time to do it. You can do it via visiting tvcairport.com to book that next getaway today, or if it's a winter getaway, maybe even spring break. That's a little bit far from now, but still right around the corner.
You certainly want to get those flights signed up for right now.
Parents, if you're listening, you can book that spring break vacation and then give the not the boarding pass, but the confirmation code to your family for Christmas.
There you go. That's a good idea. I
So
like that.
that's a really good way if you're a procrastinator and you haven't got presents for your kids yet. You can book that trip. Maybe you want to go to Fort Myers. That's a direct flight. Maybe you want to go to Charlotte, another direct flight. Then go online to tvcairport.com, book that trip, and then put it under the tree next Wednesday.
All right. Sounds like a good plan to me, Charles.
So we'll get back to basketball here as we're talking about getting away and being warm and not seeing snert outside of our windows. But we've seen a lot of really good basketball here in the first 16 minutes of play, Shane. And a lot of that really good basketball comes on the defensive end of things because I, for one, have been impressed with Kingsley's zone defense, how disruptive it's been, and how well Kingsley's been able to get defensive rebounds out of that zone defense. I think only 3-4 significant offensive rebounds to my recollection that the Gladiators have had. And if you're Kingsley, you got to do a good job. One thing I think Kingsley needs to clean up is just their overall exuberance. I think they're over-exuberant. We saw it early with Alex Figueroa picking up a couple of unnecessary fouls, and I think if he's able to control that intensity in the second half, it would certainly bode well for Kingsley's ability to continue rebounding well, Shane.
I couldn't agree more. It's not that I disagree. I do agree with that. And the biggest thing is You know what, Charles, I'm going to have to come back to you. I completely lost my train of thought. It was something about turnovers, but it went out right out of my head.
Well, I'll go right to my notes of what I think the Gladiators need to do then.
Sure.
And for the Gladiators in the second half, I think they just need to get more fluidity of their offensive execution. It seems like the ball is kind of getting plugged up or clogged on this near sideline a lot, Shane, right in front of us from where we're sitting or standing. And it seems like the ball gets there and it sticks. If the Gladiators can get that ball popping around in and out, a couple of rotations on the zone, and then get somebody in the short corner, get the ball to the short corner, turn, and look. When you get the ball to the short corner on the zone, it's going to draw 4 defenders. So you'll have either a play side corner 3, an opposite elbow outside of the 3-point line, reversal, or the defense will suck in too much and you'll have a quick kick up top to the top of the key as well. Or if you get it to somebody who's looking to attack in that short corner, they can take one power dribble and attack the basket. So if you're the Gladiators, get the ball to the short corner against the zone defense. Stop letting the ball get stuck up here on this sideline extended area. Just my thoughts, and we'll see what the adjustments that this Gladiator coaching staff made at halftime. Head coach Sean Finnegan with assistants Chuck Schuba and Merrick Lockie. I mean, those guys know what they're doing. They know their X's and O's, and I just want to give Jason Stewart his flowers for the way that Kingsley's defense has been executing this zone defense. You would say that Kingsley doesn't quite have the ball handlers that St. Francis has, but Shane, as I said coming in, I think the guards of Kingsley have done a good job handling the pressure that the St. Francis guards were going to put on them.
Yeah, I would agree. Kingsley, while they have not been as put together on the offensive end of the court as St. Francis per se, the skill, the quick hands in order to get those steals from St. Francis, work into the passing lanes, has been just as strong as what we've seen from the Gladiators. And that has certainly helped them, at least if nothing else, keep into this game. There was, a brief moment where it got close to a 10-point deficit, but they went right back. We're back to a 7-point deficit, just over 2 scores right now. It's been a lot of great defensive looks here for Kingsley to be able to create those turnovers. And while they haven't had the exact shooting percentage that St. Francis has had, they've had just a sheer volume of those chances provided by the turnovers that have at least kept them in the game.
So I think right now, if you're Kingsley, got to get a couple of good offensive possessions, Shane, going off of what you said.
Yeah.
Let's see which team is going to string together more minutes of consistent play offensively and defensively. Is it the Gladiators maybe extending this 7-point lead, or is it Kingsley maybe cutting into it, maybe getting it to a 1-possession game yet again and putting some game pressure on the Gladiators? So we'll find out.
We will. One thing that would be nice feather in Kingsley's cap, they had the last 2 free points off those free throws to begin the half. Go in with another 2 to 3 points to begin here would be a huge start to their game, as that 3-point shot from George will fall short. Holscher sending it up court to Bixby. And that one will be bouncing off the front of Heeringa. He didn't gather that one up in time, goes out of bounds. Kingsley will have it back.
Good job by Kingsley getting back in defensive transition. It'll be important for them to do so, as I think the message at halftime for the Gladiators is, hey, let's get some turnovers, let's get some easy baskets out in transition so they don't have to play against the zone defense as much. There's a 10-second call, turnover going back to the Glads.
And that really gives some nice kudos there to Wickern and Ryan out there, just providing that really strong defense here at the 3-quarter court mark, not allowing Kingsley to get past the half-court line. So refs have a moment here to talk things over. Quick inbound to Holscher, be back to Bixby here along the baseline. Double team, back to Holscher once again. Throws that one over. And a 3-point try, no good by Wickern. Right into the hands of Wolf, and the Stags we go. No spin move there by Dreves. George meets a lot of pressure, sends it up top here once again. Ryan hanging all over Dance.
Kingsley needs to bring a ball screen up with Brody Wolf. There's a screen right there, and you get a little slip and play out of it on a pick and roll. Nice play by Dreves to set up Wolf, but you bring this ball screen up and good things happen.
Took a minute and 20 seconds, but Kingsley did get the first score of the half, brings it back within a 2-possession game. 28-23 is now the score. Yeah, and the first foul for Tyler Dance in the evening for him.
So right there, you saw it. If you're Kingsley, you come up and set the high ball screen. You run the pick and roll. You play out of it. That time, Dreves rolled and then found Wolf, and there's a turnover, Shane.
Yep, just what the doctor ordered for the Stags. Can he deliver on it? No, he can't. The cleanup job also falls away. And no foul call there will be off St. Francis's hands as Tyler Dance fought there under the basket, trying to get something on the board for his teammates.
So far in this second half, Shane, I like the energy Kingsley's playing with more so than the energy that the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators are playing with.
Definitely playing with more of a purpose than you'd expect that as they came out of the break down by 7. As that 3 ball falls away by Dreves. St. Francis will have it back. But again, St. Francis has not been bothered by much of anything so far. They've maintained their composure throughout the game. Even when they were down early to start, they got themselves right back into this game. And save for one brief moment where Kingsley was ahead by a point early on in the second quarter, it's been all St. Francis in the lead this evening.
Kingsley dropping into the 2-3 zone. Let's see how the Gladiators are able to move this one around. There they go. They get it to the short corner there temporarily, and they get a wide open shot out of it.
In and out. Bauman not able to get that one to fall. And again, the freshman, though, providing some great minutes here as he drives into the basket, draws the contact. They go into the free throw line.
Let's see who they get on the foul here. It looks like it's going to get called on Andrew George. That's his third, Shane. So decision time here. Will Jason Stewart roll the dice with George having 3 personals or take him out? Got a couple subs at the bench for Kingsley.
A couple of Stags with 2 and 3 fouls apiece here to begin this second half. So we'll have Sherman, Figueroa back in. And I was not able to get the last gentleman. One for 2 there at the free throw line for St. Francis.
I believe it was just Figueroa and Sherman coming in, Shane. Just 2 subs.
Well, Sherman with it now.
Here, yeah, let's see if they bring that ball screen. That would really help them out if they maybe brought the ball screen of Figueroa's man.
Well, speaking of Figueroa, works along the baseline. Had to throw that one away before going out of bounds. Wickern was there to intercept it. Takes it all the way to the end of the court, and that'll be a charge.
Shane, I'll be honest, I got a problem with this call being a charge. Right
You're
here.
to pull the replay on it?
Yeah, here's the replay. The defender is basically standing just underneath the basket. And I think that high school basketball needs to adopt the half circle that goes out 1.5 feet from underneath the center of the rim like they have in college and the NBA.
Yeah.
And that would have been a block. I just think it improves the health and safety of the game as Holscher unable to get the Euro step, but the follow putback is good by Wickern.
And St. Francis, just like that, off a turnover, goes again. And we've seen this all game long. Another 4-point spurt, putting them up now by 8, 31-23, and Wickern will have the chance to go for the and one here.
St. Francis is making just enough plays to keep this lead at a 3 to sometimes 4 possession advantage.
That one bounces around and in. Again, here's that 3-quarter pressure. And that one will just get past Holscher, but again, nice job as the 2 opposing 12s, Lucky and Holscher, work against each other, giving Kingsley all sorts of fits to try and even get to their half of the court. As we've got Stark coming in to replace Lucky. Quick find over to Dance. Nearly gets it knocked away by Ryan, still facing a lot of trouble. Finally finds Stark, inside we go, and there's finally a couple points up on the board for Figueroa.
It's a nice play by Stark. Just beat his man, had him behind him on his hip, got to the free throw line. Defense collapsed, got the assist to Figueroa.
Up top to Holscher, now to Ryan. He'll try for a three. That one falls just short. Dreves on the rebound, brings it back. 7-point differential, again, as we've talked about, that 3 to 4 score differential.
Yeah, it seems like it's been in the balance of that 2 to 4 possession lead all night long. Right now it sits at 3 possessions, but it was recently just 2, and the team's just kind of going back and forth. It seems like this is where the game will be played in, is this margin right there. It's a nice move by Figueroa.
Kingsley never out of the game, but always kind of held at an arm's length by St. Francis right now. As Sutton picks up his second foul.
Shane, this was my halftime thought regarding Kingsley. The exuberance of Alex Figueroa in the first half. I thought it was just a little bit too juiced up.
Okay.
So far in this third quarter and in the minutes he's had, he's come off the bench, played nicely, given them some under control minutes. Made a nice move there. Let's see if he can make the second and 2 at the line.
Misses them both, but Kingsley able to come away with it, so it'll be Figueroa passing that off, but right there to get in the middle of things and taking it all the way in. And a nice little spin by Bauman, the freshman, just barely spun up and over the lip of the basket there.
Oh, nice play by Figueroa to seal out his man.
Good find there to Stark. And a quick answer back, too. Keeps it at a 7-point game, 34-27.
3 on 2. Good hands, Figueroa once again.
Keeping just enough of that exuberance and a good chuck up court. Sherman a little bit too powerful there on the shot.
Dreves threw a post route there to Sherman.
Good patience there as Jake Bixby waits for the contact to get by from Stark, then puts it up. And a near perfect cleanup job by Figueroa. The only problem is ball didn't go in the basket, but he had the right timing, just wasn't able to finish it off.
I really like the pace that Tucker Dreves plays with out there.
3 ball up and away, Sherman. That one falls off the front of the iron. Figueroa picks it up at the free throw line. And we start taking things here to reset. Multiple missed opportunities here between the two teams. Bodies all over the floor, still no call. Finally, something.
Finally starting to get a little intensity and interactions out there between the players. We got a foul called against Mikey Bowman. I think the officials have so far been letting the teams play because it hasn't been, from our vantage point, chippy yet.
Yeah, nothing too ticky-tack.
So, you know, if the chippiness does start to elevate, expect these officials to maybe start tightening up the whistle a little bit.
I'm amazed that wasn't a jump ball call because at one point things were tied up, but
that should be a foul.
That will be. That'll be against Sutton.
So what happened there for Sutton is he brought his hands down.
Yeah.
When you bring your hands down like that, you're going to get called 99% of the time. And, you know, Brody Wolf was kind of buried underneath the rim. It would have been a tough shot either way. But kudos to Wolf for drawing the contact and being aggressive. Right now, Kingsley has missed their last 3 free throws.
And that's probably when one of their weakest points of the night so far at the free throw line, and that's what really would help keep them in this game. They've had close to the same number of opportunities there as St. Francis has, at least as of late, and they've missed all of them. And that'll be last touched by the Stags. St. Francis gets it back here. Yet another missed opportunity, both with free throws and 2 chances at the bucket by Kingsley, keeping them down by 9. The game has not gotten to a double-digit lead yet for either team, but Kingsley here having difficulty keeping that from happening. Just as I say it, Bauman gets 2 more, and the freshman is off to a great start tonight.
Now he's got 7 points, Shane, and I believe he's got 6 here in this quarter.
Some discombobulation down here on the floor for the Stags. Losing control once again. St. Francis just overpowering right now for Kingsley. as they widen this lead to 11. Kingsley needs to get some stops and at least a couple buckets on the scorer's book before this quarter expires, or things might start to work out of hand for them, the way St. Francis has played an even-keeled, strong game all the way through.
This ties the largest lead of the game, correct?
I believe so. It has not gotten more than 11. I don't think it got past 9 for most of the game.
This would go in and be big.
Oof, just out, in and out there. Dreves fighting for it, finally gets it away. That'll be Wolf taking it back here for the Stags. Takes it all the way to the basket, gets it in, uncontested.
Now that's something right there that's going to drive head coach Sean Finnegan bonkers. Brody Wolf caught it in the Kingsley side of the thing, went coast to coast. Nobody shut off his dribble.
And here's something that we've seen all night. Kingsley
Nice
got a bucket, a steal, and another bucket, and a quick 4-0 spurt brings it back within 7.
That's a great pass there by Dreves.
38-31. Again, Kingsley never out of this game. Held in arm's length, but never out of it. Fighting right back into this one. And that'll be lost once again by Sellers.
Possession arrow is going to keep it here with Kingsley. We got 2 Gladiators coming in. It's Holscher and Ryan.
St. Francis maintaining the possession down here at this end of the court with just under a minute to go in the third. Swing around to Holscher. He'll take that three-point shot. Falls away. Into the hands of Wolf.
That was a great rebound there by Wolf.
Yes, Stark takes it back here. Loses his footing, and that'll be a foul coming up on St. Francis. That'll go on Bixby.
And here's the thing. Gladiators are over the foul limit, so Kingsley's in the bonus. Can they knock down some free throws? They've missed their last 4. It'll be Stark going to the line, Shane. If he's able to do so, it would make it a 5 or 6-0 run for Kingsley since they went down 11.
Apparently Stark was the man here to choose for the free throw line for Kingsley. Makes this a 2-possession game once again. Two for 2, just what they needed. Had not made a free throw since the beginning, or the very final moment of the first half. And somehow they've clawed their way back to only 5 points down.
A 6-0 run at the end of the quarter. Not finishing a quarter well will drive a coach nuts. And you see Sean Finnegan over there shaking his head.
And that'll be a foul coming up here against Wolf. Imagine just a little too much body contact, because otherwise he had his hands up.
St. Francis not in the bonus yet.
Yep, Kingsley still, that was their final foul to give, so the next one will put St. Francis at the line. With 36 seconds to go. Pass around the arc to the corner. Bixby tries to work it in. Lost control, gathers it back up, finds Holscher. Bixby drives in from the top, gets the nice mid-range floater. And back up by 7. The Gladiators go 20 seconds roughly for Kingsley to try and get this back to a 2-possession game. Not before Bixby gets another steal. Hits the floor, no travel call. Somehow Dreves wrestles that one away. 7 seconds to go, still melee on the floor. Sherman has to put it up, and that will fall away as the buzzer sounds. And after one heck of a finish of this quarter, Charles, we still find ourselves with only a single-digit lead. St. Francis has 40-33.
Yep, we'll see you in the fourth quarter. Stay tuned.
Discover Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union in Traverse City. We make banking secure and convenient with biometric logins and remote deposit capture. Whether you need loans, mortgages, or credit cards, we've got you covered. Manage your finances effortlessly with our online banking services. Grow your savings with our competitive rates and savings products. Experience the difference with Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union. Visit tcfedcu.org for more.
You make another bucket off that? Okay.
And welcome back into the fourth quarter here tonight, brought to you by the Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union. The Traverse Catholic FCU wants you to know that they're a part of your family this Christmas time and holiday season going into the new year. So if you're looking for something to invest in yourself or a loved one around you, the Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union can certainly provide you when you want to invest in yourself and those around you. That's once again the Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union. Charles Trail, Shane Smith, Zach Kennedy here, Next Level Broadcasting. Stags and Gladiators, we got a good game. Who would have thought of it? I mean, it seems like every time these two teams play, it's entertaining.
Yeah, and no matter what. So what, Kingsley came into this with an 0-4 record. You know that they're a team full of athletes. Just look at their football squad. And they just hadn't had the time to put together practices quite like St. Francis and a lot of other teams have had here in Northern Michigan. So they're still kind of finding their way, and frankly still are in this game. There's been a number of turnovers, a number of miscues, but for every misstep that they've had, they've almost been able to put another step in the right direction forward, as they've still stayed very close here to the St. Francis squad. And a nice inbound to Dreves. He'll draw the foul, go up to the free throw line, as they've always kept that 2 to 4 possession deficit, and that only throughout the game so far. Still very much anybody's game.
Well, here's the thing, Shane, in high school basketball, the greatest Band-Aid is effort.
Yep.
So you can cover up a lot of blemishes if you just have a team full of guys that play hard.
And here's something to note. They went 0 for 4 in the third quarter. Then finally got the 2 straight there at the end. Now we've got a third one, this time made by Dreves. So we're 3 for 3 on the free throw line. And Coach Finnegan's going to take a moment here to talk things over. Quick 30-second variety.
Yeah, quick 30-second variety. And once again, fourth quarter here tonight brought to you by the Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union. We're going to go ahead, step aside, and hear this, and be back after this from TCFCU.
Discover Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union in Traverse City. We make banking secure and convenient with biometric logins and remote deposit capture. Whether you need loans, mortgages, or credit cards, we've got you covered. Manage your finances effortlessly with our online banking services. Grow your savings with our competitive rates and savings products. Experience the difference with Traverse Catholic Federal Credit Union. Visit tcfedcu.com.
And here we are coming back into this one. Thanks again to TCFCU for sponsoring this fourth quarter. It's 12 seconds in. We've got Dreves at the free throw line already. Made the first free throw, gets the second one in. Third quarter, minus the last few seconds. Kingsley went 0 for 4 at the free throw line, now 4 for 4. And through everything, they're back within 5 after being down by as much as 11. Bixby finds Holscher, and he drains a 3.
10 points now in the game for Holscher, 3 made triples.
And the answer back 3 just off the front of the iron, no good by Sherman. There on the rebound was Stark. Kingsley going to hold on to things here for a moment, get reset.
Would you believe it if I told you that Kingsley has not made a three-point basket in this game?
I would believe it because I haven't seen it.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, it has been yeoman's 35 points, as our good buddy Eric Huffman would like to say, and that'll be a travel call.
So right now, it's an 8-point lead with 7:03. Let's mark that.
Okay.
And see where it's at 4 minutes from now at the 3-minute mark.
Well, Kingsley gets another lucky break off a St. Francis turnover. Need to make use of it. Again, down by 8. There's plenty of time left in the game, but if you're going to maintain that 5 to 10-point deficit, you really have to start adding on some points here as of late. And there you go, a nice assist from Dreves to Wolf. And it's back to a 6-point game, 43-37.
Yeah, and this token 2-2-1 pressure has really bothered the Gladiators. Kingsley's not really all out exerting their energy on that pressure, but it's just throwing the Gladiators off just a tick.
Holscher and Ryan were both left open there for the 3-point try. Both thought about it, reel it back in. Holscher will have it here, trying to work his way into the paint instead. Goes around, finds Ryan once again.
There's a short corner. One more kick.
Yeah.
One more. There you go.
Holscher left open, off and away, no good. Wolf comes down with the rebound.
They got the ball reversal out of the short corner, but they were sleeping defensively.
And there you go. Sherman left wide open, lays it in, no problem, and the immediate turnover forced by Stark. Going up for the two, no good by Lucky. Didn't have much luck there, but the team did, as the ball will stay.
That would have been a huge basket if Lucky was able to knock that one down. It would have brought it to just a 2-point game.
Yep.
Closest it would have been all second half.
Stark there picks up the foul. Even still, this 4-point differential is the closest it's been since the first quarter. 43-39, 5:40 to go. Ryan going up, draws the contact. Oh no, that'll be a charge. Wow.
Let's take another look at that one, Shane, as you see Ryan going baseline, beat his defender, and then sliding over, guess who? Tucker Dreves plants, goes straight up,
Yeah.
law of verticality, as I like to call it in basketball, and took the hit and forced the turnover.
Wow, he earned that one. So Kingsley, lucky once again.
I wouldn't say lucky, just a good defensive execution there by
Well, the reason
Kingsley.
it was a play on words because we
okay.
had lucky right down there on
Sure.
the floor. At this end of the court now, Stark taking care of the inbound. Finds Dreves just off the heel. Still no made threes in this game. That one will go past Dreves. Can he gather it back up? No, still knocked around, and it'll be right in front of the St. Francis bench. And the possession will be awarded to the Gladiators right in front of Coach Finnegan.
Looked like Mikey Bauman was slow to get up there, or was that Reef Rickern? Looked like it
Oh,
was
that was
Bauman,
Bauman,
yeah.
yeah.
Slow to get up there after diving for it on the bench.
Coach taking a minute to talk things over. So we'll have a substitution here for Kingsley. Sherman going out. Figueroa coming back in. Bixby on the inbound. 5 and 12 to go in the game. Sellers passing that one off. It'll be back to Ryan. Now Ballman. But a good steal here by Figueroa. Got in just in the nick of time. No contact. Dreves powering it in. Puts it up. Little too much sauce on it there. St. Francis takes it away once more.
Great in defensive anticipation by Figueroa. Kingsley just couldn't knock down the layup.
St. Francis tries to answer back and make him pay for it. Bixby, though, on the rebound. Gets caught in some trees. Be back to Sellers. As he works his way. That'll get past Holscher. Gathers it back up just in time. I apologize. That was Hiringa back in. And another block shot by Kingsley. Dreves working it back across the half-court logo. The mid-range J falls away. No good there from Wolf. But the possession will stay here at this end of the court.
I tell you what, every time Kingsley needs to make a hustle play or a defensive effort play, they've done it.
Yeah. Stark on the inbound, gets it off to Dreves. Now the pass off to Lucky, thankfully. Wolf was there to clean it up off the miscue. Dreves, no good. Still no three-point made here. It'll be a tie-up. Possession arrow favoring St. Francis.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there because Preston Lucky had beaten his man and got that offensive rebound. Just wasn't really able to do anything with the ball once he got it into his possession. So we end up going to the alternative possession arrow, and unfortunately for Kingsley, the arrow favors the Gladiators. So, Shane, we marked it at the 7:03 mark, 35-43. Since that point in time, the Kingsley Stags on a 4-0 run, and the game feels a little tighter. As I said, after Lucky missed that layup, if they could have got it to a one-possession, 2-point game, I thought it would have really tightened it up. But you're starting to see some of the real game pressure that Kingsley's putting on the Gladiators right now. And so far in this last 4-minute stretch, the Gladiators aren't really handling that pressure very well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And to be honest, this is Kingsley's half right now. They've outplayed St. Francis defensively and had a number of more shots than St. Francis has here at the basket. The only thing that has saved St. Francis is Kingsley, for one, have gone 0 for all night long on the three-point tries, of which they've had a number of those attempts.
A lot of clean looks, too.
Yes,
deep.
clean looks. And then also a number of missed layups and jump shots within 5 feet, and those 4 missed free throws as well in the third. So this is really Kingsley's half to lose right now, as they're still down by 4 after all the opportunities that they've had. St. Francis just been able to clamp down defensively. And a little bit extra here. They have 4 minutes to go, still maintaining that 4-point lead. We'll see what they can do. Opposing 12s. Holscher gets this one off to Wickern. Up court we go. And as you mentioned, Charles, St. Francis has not scored a point in over 3 game minutes. But a nice find to Ryan here as he works into the paint. Dumps it off to Sutton, who is left open, not able to get the mid-range in, but a tip in there by Ryan. Gives St. Francis the first point since that 7:03 mark, Charles, and they go back up top by 6.
Beautiful play there on the offensive glass by Ryan. I mean, he's known as a shooter, but that time he was mixing it up in the paint. Now playing great defense.
Stark, all he can handle. St. Francis finally comes away with it. Foul coming up. See who that'll be against.
It'll be against Stark.
You almost have to feel bad for Stark. You could see, and well, rather, my apologies, Lucky there. You could see how flustered he was, just getting cornered by multiple Gladiators. Finally, when he got it off, the foul was called there. And Ryan tried to put this one away, no good. You would like to think anything more than a 7 to 8 point lead would be tough for Kingsley to get back, as points are at such a premium, but the foul will be called against the Gladiators here. Kingsley will have another chance at the free throw. This time it'll be Wolf. And Wickern will pick up his third foul as well.
Wolf at the line shooting 2 shots.
And once again, Shane, this game continuing to ebb and flow. And now Kingsley with back to the free throw line they go.
Back to the free throw line, and another missed opportunity here. Went 0 for 4 in the third, 4-0 up until this chance here. We'll see if Wolf can make the correction, at least get one free point, get them back within 5. Does not. So 0 for 4, 4-0, and then 0-2 in this half at the free throw line for Kingsley. And that'll get the possession arrow to stay here, or rather the possession to stay here.
You know, Shane, we talked about the youth on the Traverse City St. Francis roster. We got to mention the youth on the Kingsley roster. Only 4 seniors on this roster, only 3 of them playing tonight. So a lot of experience to be gained between both of these teams with their underclassmen.
I will say it's mostly juniors here on the St. Francis squad. They're only starting or having at least a lot of time out on the floor with one freshman, Mikey Bowman. There are
3 seniors.
3 seniors, but 3 sophomores who have spent a lot of time on the floor here for Kingsley. As Wolf able to gather that rebound up and put it back in. One of the juniors on the Stag squad brings it back to a 4-point game, 45-41. Ryan trying to go one-on-one along the baseline. Nice dump off. Not able to get that one to fall in.
That was a
Wickern.
It was a slot cut again that Wickern made. Let's see if this one can get retrieved.
Ref saying the possession will stay here after that one got through the hands of George.
Let's
St.
take another
Francis.
look at this one, Shane.
Yeah.
See if we can make out who. Oh, that's tight. I think the refs got it right in real time, though.
I would have to say so. It was swatted away from George's hands. Figueroa loses control of it yet again. Another missed opportunity here at this end of the court for the Stags.
That's actually a good foul there by Alex Figueroa, because if the Gladiators are able to pick that ball up, they've got a wide open run out for a transition layup. And I know might have been a little harsh on Figueroa in the first half for being too energetic, but right there, smart play taking that third foul to prevent giving up an easy basket.
He still has another foul to give before getting into real trouble as we get down in the final 120 seconds of the game. And another tie up here. Sutton comes away with it, no travel. There it finally is. The Kingsley crowd was really looking for it. Big moment here, Charles. 1 minute, 51 seconds to go in the game. Kingsley forces yet another turnover, only down by 4. That'll be a foul coming up here against St. Francis on the wrong end of the court.
And Shane, we're going to make it the tip-in we saw by Lewis Ryan earlier on the one-handed tip shot. Or that's a pizza. That's a great play of tonight's game because he was kind of holding off a defender, jockeying for position there on the offensive glass, caught it with his right, tapped it up and in. So that was our that's a pizza. That's a great play.
That works for me. Lucky here at the line. Dead silent here as they would like to get this with a one-possession game. First one off the heel, no good. There's one thing that this Kingsley Stag team really needs to work on, will be time spent at the free throw line. Just in this half alone, they've gone 4 and 7, 4 and 8.
That's a tough luck trip to the free throw line on that second shot, or in and out. And I think if Kingsley's not able to come back in this one, they'll certainly look at that free throw line, which has not been kind to them tonight.
No. Holscher getting around all sorts of issues, still somehow has control of it. And a foul call. This crowd is not exactly thrilled with the officiating here as of late. The whole crowd on their feet at different points in time for what they would like to think were travels. As that foul will go against Wolf for Kingsley. That's his third. Another one gets through St. Francis's hands. That'll be a turnover forced once again by Kingsley. The only thing they have going for them right now is the turnovers they forced, keeping St. Francis from scoring, and the fact that now St. Francis has accrued 5 fouls. That will send Kingsley to the free throw line each time the rest of this game. They'll have to be better at making those free throws if they want to get back into this one, still down by 4. Stags hanging on to this one will be Dreves here with minute and 24 to go in the game. Another mess on the floor. Dreves able to save it.
2-on-1.
Working his way. Wolf goes in, draws the foul, gets the bucket.
Yeah, Ryan slid in there to draw his second charge of the game. Check out this, Ryan.
Oh,
I'm sorry, but that's a block. That's a block right there. I thought Ryan was moving. Credit to Lewis for getting in there and taking the contact again. From our vantage point on the replay, it did look like a block. As we're now evened out at 5 fouls apiece, each team now in the bonus. A couple years ago, they made this change, Shane, where now after 5 fouls, you shoot 2 free throws. The 1-and-1 no longer a mental game here in high school basketball.
which I do miss the 1-and-1. I really do. That was a fun part of high school basketball. But it penalizes teams a little bit more, giving those automatic chances at the free throw line with 2 shots each time.
I think fouling should be more of a punitive penalty than allowing you to get the ball back if the other team misses 1 shot. But Holscher doesn't do that. He knocks them both down.
Well, I did give that caveat as to the reason why I agree. It's more punitive. Wolf works that one in. 4-point differential with 60 seconds to go, 47-43.
Got to come out and force the ball out of Ryan's hands. Oh, that might be a turnover.
And it is. Kingsley with another break here. 43 seconds to go. Down 4. Forces another turnover. Need to capitalize on it here, and that'll be a timeout called by head coach Jason Stewart. We'll step away here for a moment. Coming back in, ladies and gentlemen. A monumental moment in this game. We've thought we've had a number of them already, but this really does take the cake so far. Another forced turnover by Kingsley. Gets the ball back in their hands, down 4 with 43 seconds to go. The crowd was happy to finally see one go their way after what Charles and I both thought was a block instead of that charge taken earlier.
And that would have been basket good.
Yeah.
And then Sherman would have went to the free throw line on that one. Or was it Wolf? I forget.
I believe it was Wolf.
Okay. But the basket would have been good. Going to the line, it was a charge, block, bang, bang play. You know, you can ask an official who ref for 40 years, what's the hardest call to make in basketball? It's the block charge.
Yep. So instead of being a 1-point game, potentially, it's still 4 points, but there's plenty of time here for Kingsley as long as they can take a good shot. Keep
That's
the
a good
ball in their
shot.
control. That is Sherman from the corner, not able to get the 3-point in. Thankfully, George was there to get the rebound. That one gets through Sherman's hands, and the ref will say it'll stay at this end of the court.
I think the referee should gather up here because that was definitely off of Kingsley. It was, I mean, it looked to me pretty clear that that one went off of Kingsley. We're going to keep it here.
After the confab.
Thought it was off of Sherman. But we have the advantage of replay. They don't. So, you know, it's like playing backseat quarterback while knowing the opposing team's plays, kind of like on Michigan.
Oh, okay. Nice dig. And that'll be knocked away by Ryan. There to save it was George, and it will stay here at this end of the court with 14 seconds to go. This will have to be a quick inbound and shot in order for Kingsley to save the 14 seconds that are left on the clock.
I think you need your best play going to the basket here right now if you're Kingsley.
Drees fires this one off, finds Lucky at the top. He has to make a shot. 11 seconds and counting. Drees looks, makes the attempt, no good, falls away. With 4 seconds to go, there's the foul finally. 3 and 5 to go on the clock. And St. Francis goes to the line.
And as we've got a little quick timeout here, we're going to step aside and have this from TVC.
All right, we'll pick them back up here in a moment. Apologize there. First free throw made by Ryan. Second one falls short. That'll be enough to start the clock. And time will expire, ladies and gentlemen. A hard-fought game. Kingsley played this one right down to the line, Charles. I'm sure we'll have a bit of a wrap-up. But the final score here, 48-43, back and forth the whole way. Anytime Kingsley took 2 steps forward, St. Francis took 3, and that's just what kept the Gladiators in the lead the whole time.
Thought it was a really entertaining game between two opponents who both wanted to come out here and play hard. And both teams certainly did, Shane. And I don't think if you're either team, you can be too disappointed in your effort. I think if you're both teams, you might be disappointed in your execution, but you can never question effort. And as I mentioned earlier, effort is a great Band-Aid. It covers up a lot of other boo-boos that you might have or maybe didn't play as well as you had hoped to in other areas.
Well, I like how you worded that. This game is definitely a difference between effort and execution. You'd certainly have to make that difference here. Both teams showcase undeniable, unrelenting effort, but both teams had execution issues as well. Kingsley more than St. Francis, and that's what kept them down 2 to 4 possessions this entire game. Just were not able to capitalize on the plethora of turnovers they had, the number of shots at the free throw line that they had, going only 4 and 8 here in the second half. That really, if they would have made, say, 3 more, this would have kept it within a 1-possession game. And just a number of dominoes could have fallen either way to really turn out the outcome of this game, but they went St. Francis's way tonight, and they came out with the 5-point win here to keep this rivalry going strong as ever, as I'm sure there will be sore feelings after this one. Kingsley so close, but oh so far from getting that win, so the rematch later on this season, I'm sure, will be entertaining.
Coming up next on Next Level Broadcasting, tomorrow afternoon for matinee, we'll have the winners of the Elk Rapids Girls Basketball Invitational Tournament that's been going on. It started tonight. It'll be either Elk Rapids versus Traverse City St. Francis or Elk Rapids versus Glen Lake. And then the other team, either Glen Lake versus Kalkaska or St. Francis versus Kalkaska. So we'll have one of those 2 games tomorrow. Should be a good one. It'll be either at noon or 1:30 live from Elk Rapids. So we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have the Pop Excavating post-game show. Kingsley and Traverse City St. Francis in the books. Gladiators get a 5-point win. We'll be back after this.
Now's the time to fly. Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into our Pop Excavating post-game show. Shane Smith with Charles Strail, Zach here. We're going to wrap things up here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a point tally to go over, Charles, and then our final thoughts as we take care of this one in Kingsley.
So these are our unofficial, official scoring statistics here tonight, which means I kept this by freehand during the broadcast. So for the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators, they get a 5-point win. They get 10 points from Jake Bixby. They get 7 points from Reef Wickern. They get 6 points from Lewis Ryan, including some clutch free throws at the end of the game. They get 7 points from freshman Mikey Bauman. They get 2 points from Will Sutton. Mason Holscher, he had 12 and 3 made 3-pointers as well, Shane. And then George Herringa with 2. For the Kingsley Stags, Braden Sherman, he pitched in with 9. Tyler Donce had 4. Alex Figueroa with 2. Tucker Dreves with 8. Preston Lucky with 4. Brady Wolf had 12. He was the high point man for Kingsley tonight. And then Eric Stark with 4 points for the Stags. So for the Gladiators, they'll still have a couple more games here in the 2025 part of this season. For them, they will be taking their show on the road and going downstate as they will be playing in the Catholic Schools Tournament at Jackson Lumen Christi. Their first game will be December 22nd, taking on Jackson Lumen Christi, and then they'll play one more game in that tournament. For Kingsley, this will be their last game of 2025. Their first game out of the chute in January of 2026 will be home versus Charlevoix, so that should be a dandy of a game. Shane, you might find yourself right back here. And the way that Kingsley played, I think that they've got an entertaining brand of basketball because it's not conventional to what we see now in 2025, where Most teams, they're not chucking a ton of threes, Shane. And I think they know that their shot selection needs to be close to the basket. Their shot chart, if you looked at it tonight, yeah, they took some three-pointers, but a lot of those three-pointers were open in rhythm shots. If they're able to make one of those, it's a completely different feeling game, and it was already a pretty close game.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm just going to make a bold take right now. I think that game against Charlevoix, and I'm saying this as a Charlevoix alum, I think that'll be Kingsley's first win of the 2025-2026 season. The athletes I saw down here on the court tonight were going toe-to-toe with anything St. Francis did, and were, in fact, creating, I think, more turnover opportunities than St. Francis did. They just weren't able to capitalize on them. So if Kingsley can just put the work in over break, work on cleaning up those shots, especially at the free throw line where they really lagged behind tonight and kind of kept them out of the game. I think that Kingsley versus Charlevoix not only will be a pretty decent game, considering that both teams are struggling in the win column to begin, but Kingsley would have the better chance with their pure athleticism to be able to pull out the win.
So it sounds like that game on January 6th might be a game you can dig, huh?
I guess so.
And if you're looking for some digging, our friendly post-game show sponsor at Pop Excavating has got you covered. If you're looking to dig it yourself, don't dig it yourself. Get Pop Excavating to dig it for you. Whether you want to build your next large project, Pop Excavating can do that, or even help you with snow removal here in the winter, as we're just below or just under pace for record amounts of snowfall here through December. So from all of us here at Next Level Broadcasting, we want to thank our sponsors one more time: the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport, Carter and Associates Farm Bureau, That's a Pizza, the TCFCU, and Pop Excavating for making this game possible for you to watch couchside. So we'll say see ya here from Next Level Broadcasting. See everybody tomorrow up in Elk Rapids. Charles Strail along with Shane Smith, our executive producer, Zach Kennedy. And good night. We'll see you later.